80s dark fantasy movies are like a fever dream, and I want to create a makeup look that conjures that. So essentially balancing elements from 80s makeup with like dark ethereal elements, really creating this kind of strange subgenre I'm just going to call campy ethereal. So I just watched Labyrinth for the first time. Honestly, I think I might have seen this as a kid because I have these weird kind of senses of these 80s fantasy movies that I have seen them like when I was sick or something as a kid. And so for me, they really do have that fever dream, uncanny type of feeling. Anyway, Labyrinth was like such a fun feast for the eyes. And I love Jennifer Connelly and her character and her makeup, especially in the ballroom scene that's so famous. It's very soft, pastel-y, ethereal. And then I did really notice about this film in general, and when I've been looking up about a lot of other 80s dark fantasy movies, is how the set design and the setting, it's very like murky. There's a lot of like intricate sort of landscapes like caves and forests and meadows, and they're always like portrayed in this very, dark way. The colors are like desaturated, muddy. There's a lot of like details in the sets, like glitter, and it's kind of overdone in the best way. And I think a lot of people love this time in cinema because of how intricate it was, how much art design was involved, the puppetry, and there's just a lot going on here. Yeah, it's very in contrast to what you kind of think of very cliche 80s, like bold, bright colors, geometric shapes. I think it's going to be really interesting to explore a makeup look that like balances this. When it comes to makeup looks specifically within 80s dark fantasy films, there's definitely some, but I think approaching it from a modern lens is going to be what I do here. So I'm thinking of just like the placement of 80s colors and products, like winged out eyes, kind of heavy on the like blush and bronzer right here, frosty lips, almost like messy elements, but then we're gonna make it that dark ethereal energy. So a little bit muddier, a little bit softer, little bits of glow and purples, murky purples, dreamlike elements to the makeup look. So I've busted out a couple palettes I think are gonna be perfect. The Huda this is the Wild Jaguar palette. Murky purples, some browns. You can grunge it up with the black and these kinds of pewter shades. I have, to potentially assist me, the Kaleidos Twilight Rush palette. So we got some more of these purples, like really conjuring a sense of like twilight in a dark forest. I feel like that's what these dark fantasy films create. And just side note, I think it's really interesting how there's been like this like movement on social media and TikTok to do like AI reimaginings of like movies like Shrek as a dark fantasy, as an 80s dark fantasy. I hate AI, but it's also weird because like 80s is like so raw and so craftsman-like, and it was really doing things, right? Not like digital stuff. So it's kind of a weird juxtaposition, but I feel like that's kind of the theme today. We are playing with contrasting elements. So let's get into the makeup look. Very, very excited for this one. I think it's going to be really fun. I'm going to start with the Kaleidos palette first, just because it has the palest shade. I'm going to go in with this very pale purple. As I mentioned, like Jennifer Connelly's makeup, for example, it has like this kind of purple pastel feeling, but it's not like a bright pastel. So I think this one's going to be perfect because it's, a little bit more like a little bit muddier. I'm just going in with this very big brush. As I said, elements of 80s makeup include a little bit of messiness. We're not being precise. We're not cutting creases. Really get this all over the lid and start winging it out. I feel like I can't be the only one who finds these movies slightly disturbing. I really don't know if it's just from growing up in the 90s and I did see a lot of these as a very young kid or what, but I don't know, they kind of freak me out, like nightmare material. Even though it was kind of lighthearted at the end of the day. Labyrinth was anyway. Okay, that's really pretty purple. Very pretty. Before I progress right now with the eye makeup, I want to get some blush going to get kind of that classic 80s like draping effect. I'm going to start actually with a bit of a strange choice, maybe this blush from Phytosurgeons, which is like a darker blush. And I'm going to kind of use this to shape out, like bring some depth and dimension to the cheekbone without like, you know, using bronzer. And I'm keeping it very focused up here. I feel like 80s makeup, there's like a heavy, often a heavy line right here. And this brush is kind of the perfect size to just get like right on that cheekbone. Now I'm gonna take this blush from YSL, which is the shade Make Me Blush. Look how like vibrant pink that is. Actually, I don't think the camera's showing, but it's very, very vibrant. And I'm going to top that, like right on top, just a little bit higher. See? And this is gonna go like a bit more into the temple, creating a bit of a blend point between the eyeshadow and the blush. Oh my God, I also have the David Bowie song stuck in my head from that. Dance, baby, dance. Such a weird movie, guys. See how it almost created a bit of muddiness when I blended those two differing colors? We want that. 80s makeup has that. 80s makeup had a really wild, free feeling about it. And I think it's because it was like, there were like a lot of punk movements happening at the same time. So we're here for that kind of messy, muddy kind of moment. Going into the Wild Jaguar palette, this shade here, this is gonna be in a similar tonality, but getting a little darker, a little grungier. I'm gonna start shaping out a little bit more dimension into the eye look. So it's like a gray, a grayish purple. It's really kind of the perfect in between. I think I'll bring this one on the lower lash line. And take like a fluffy brush and blend that out. I'm interested to see how adding a little bit of this brown is going to impact the look. It's a little bit darker, and I like the idea of it like grunging up the colors even more. Because like when you start to pair kind of like warm tones with brown tones, or sorry, warm tones with cool tones and just different colors, that's when it's going to start to get muddy and mucked up. And yeah, I feel like I like that. Before I get too carried away, I might hold myself back a touch because, as I said, this is like campy ethereal. So I do want to keep these kind of lighter elements, but I don't want to go like too dark, too bright. So we'll kind of maybe leave the shading here for now. And now I'm just going in with that brown a little bit on the lower lash line. I would like to go in with some shimmer, although I really don't think you have to. You could leave it here. And I'm going to use this purple here to start. Yeah, that's pretty nice shimmer. It's not too dark, not too bright. I was like contemplating going into this one from the Kaleidos palette, but maybe you can see it's just a little bit more vibrant and bright. But this one feels like it has a little bit more grunge to it. Then I'm going to go in with this shade here, one of the more pewter kind of gray. And I'm going to put that on the lower lash line. I think it is important to have the elements of like the darker grays or browns. I can even think how if this makeup was on the set, like those stills I showed you, like there is a harmony happening when you're making sure to add this like gray, muddier tones rather than like pure sort of 80s bright look. That's where you kind of find that middle ground. And before I go in with lashes, just a touch more depth, I'm going to go in with this black here because I like how it has some sparkle in it. In the Labyrinth set, literally just look like sparkles, like put, you know, like someone took some glitter and just like slapped it over everything. So I kind of like this black having that kind of feeling to it. I mean, you might not really notice the shimmers, but whenever there's like a black sparkly eyeshadow, I don't know, to me it kind of looks like it's just like glitter just in there randomly, you know? Most people like their blacks to be matte. Just that extra depth on the lash line there. I'm gonna pop off for lashes, and yeah, I'm really excited to think about what to do with the lips. I have a couple ideas. We'll see where it takes me. So I will be one moment. Before I go in with lips, I'm gonna put a little bit of highlighter on. I have this highlighter from Rituel de Fille called Sylvan Shine, and it's got a little bit of like pinky, purpley reflect to it. And I'm gonna put that right there, right on top of the pink blush. They're very complementary. I think I could put it on the brow bone a little too. A brow bone highlight feels 80s to me. Cool. Okay, lips. I'm so torn. Like, I'm torn between doing something very soft and pink like Jennifer Connelly has in Labyrinth, and then doing something a little bit more bold just to, you know, lean into the darker elements of everything. Maybe I'll try and do a bit of both, like a darker lip line and then like a, you know, softer pink. I'm gonna line my lips. I think I'm gonna emphasize the Cupid's bow. Feels like a little bit more 80s. And this is from Anastasia Beverly Hills. It's the shade Malt. Now I have this Urban Decay shade called Back Talk. Honestly, I don't really have many like very pink, like the blush type of lips, so I'm hoping this will get me somewhere. Oh yeah. I know this is quite involved, many steps, but what if I just put a bit of the blush on the lip since I don't have the right lip shade? Ooh, why not, right? And then I do have this like frosty gloss from Sushi Glow, which might work, might make it look even stranger. Let's see. I feel like we're not opposed to looking stranger today though. Yeah, that's kind of really giving the vibe, isn't it? Okay, just a finishing touch. I think I want to put a little bit more of the purple in the inner corner, the first soft lavender shade. And this is the finished makeup look. I think it's really, really fun. I feel like I achieved what I wanted, campy, ethereal, and yeah, it's really about just like having a lot of fun with these opposing elements, brighter kind of colors and frosty lips with like glow and gloss. Yeah, would I wear this outside right now? No. Would I wear this to go to a ball with the Goblin King? Yes, I would. Sometimes makeup isn't always about what you're gonna wear on your everyday. Sometimes it is just having fun, really summoning some kind of energy. And I love to focus on that. And while I do have you here, I wanted to announce that I have started up a Patreon, which I'll link down below. And there I have a couple tiers for how you can help further support the channel and potentially get bonus content. I have the Coven tier where I'm gonna be sharing some makeup rituals every month and extra videos, behind the scenes stuff, mood boards, that kind of thing. So definitely take a look if you want to help further support the channel. Just really wanted to shout that out while I have you here. You know, more info to come on that as I kind of really delve into it. Yeah, I do hope you guys liked this makeup look and this makeup exploration. I really had a lot of fun with this one, just playing with colors I really, really don't turn to usually, if at all. In fact, I think some of these colors look a little odd with my skin tone, but honestly, that's all part of it. Like, think of David Bowie in Labyrinth, and like, he looks odd, and yet a lot of people, that was their sexual reawakening, I've heard. So I've heard a lot of people have such a huge crush on that character, which I kind of love because there's something to be really enamored with when it comes to things that are strange and unusual, yet powerful. And I feel like that's all what 80s dark fantasy kind of plays with. So yeah, that's it for today. Toasty, let's take it away. Dance, baby, dance. Oh, he's so cute. Thanks as always for everybody who stuck it out till the end. That also really helps support the channel. And once again, check out my new Patreon for more bonus content. And until next time, may you all find yourselves a little bit of makeup magic. And we will see you in the next video. Bye, witches.